This is the Healey Brothers Show.
I'm Kayley Koter, Vice President of Enterprise Sales with ActivEngage. I have a decade of experience with SaaS products in the automotive industry. And I also have a long-term partner of ours, Jay. He's joining us from the Healey Brothers. And Jay, would love it if you could take a minute and introduce yourself.
So I'm Jay Healey. I'm one of the family members of Healey Brothers, and I run our marketing department here at for our 10 brands and 9 locations up in Hudson Valley, New York, right outside New York City.
Fantastic. Well, we're so excited that you're joining us today. We have a really good conversation ahead of us, and I think it's going to be something that you have a lot of insight into and can contribute quite a bit to. So we're really excited to just have an engaging conversation. So we want to go ahead and spend some time talking about 5 high-impact engagement skills trending for digital shoppers for 2025. And this is a really important conversation because we want to make sure that we're considering engagement as a metric that's important for the dealerships going into 2025, but really just forever going forward. So with engagement, we're thinking about how the customer shops. And ultimately, that customer begins the journey at any potential touch point. So they could come into a chat, they could come into your website, they could walk into the dealership. And we want to think about how we can make that experience for them as strong as possible so that they can be a reoccurring customer, they can refer you, and ultimately just have a better experience. So all of that comes together with a few tips and tricks that we have that will hopefully help drive some of that engagement and customer experience for everybody at the stores. So the first one that we want to take a minute and talk about here is instant personalized experiences. And I think personalization, that really tends to become a buzzword here in the last few years. But especially going into the new year, we really want to be thinking about how can we personalize every step of the shopping journey for the customer. Repeat tailored conversations, they ultimately result in a better experience for that customer because they know that they're getting that VIP experience. We actually find that 76% of customers are more likely to purchase if they had a personalized experience. So Jay, I'm curious, is this personalization tactics anything that you have in process with the dealerships? Is this something that you're considering, whether it be through chat or other elements?
So personalization is a huge part of it. You can't be robotic and just scripted anymore. It's just the old school way of responding to a customer. It seems boring. Like it seems like it's spam kind of a thing. So we're actually working with the BDC, our Business Development Center, and obviously you guys, personalization. We're trying to work on critiquing our message for that customer, whether it's seeing how their email is even into like say something about Disney or something like that. So we personalize that message, have a little fun with it. These messages, whether you're just putting the vehicle in it, what they're saying to you, and actually answering their questions instead of beating around the bush, I think is the future of how you need to answer these things and to engage the consumer. They want that. They want a personalized touch. They don't want to feel like they're talking to a robot. So I think it's a huge part of it, and it's something that we really focus on here. And are we perfect? No, but we're working on it every single day.
Yeah, it's a constant improvement. And I love that you called that out because that's something that we implement in our process with ActivEngage too, when we're discussing different key points with a customer. This is a really niche market and every single customer is going to have a different experience. They're also going to have different types of questions. And if we can make that a little bit more comfortable for them, when we're considering the fact that this is probably the second largest purchase that they make, we want to make sure that it feels super tailored and super VIP as they navigate through that. So whether it be showing empathy or even just taking some of those key points, I love that Disney reference, but being able to make them feel like, hey, there's a personal connection here, that makes a world of a difference because that customer can feel it and it goes a long way.
1,000%. And I mean, just answering their question too with something thoughtful back instead of like a generic message is just even there goes a long way with the consumer. So I agree.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that kind of leads us into the next one, which is actionable lead insights. And this one's kind of important in the sense of we want to think about what happens after the customer has given us their contact information. So whether it be a chat that happened and we know a lot about this customer, or they filled out a form fill on the website, we want to be able to take that customer and give them the next tier of that experience that you just kind of alluded to too. So once you all take over and do what you do best, which is sell cars, how can we explore that and take it one step further? And these actionable insights can really help navigate that experience. And so we actually find that for all of our ActivEngage partners, if the dealership is reading the transcript that's sent over to the CRM from that customer that they chatted in, there's actually a 38% higher close rate. And that's a really substantial number because it just goes to speak to the fact that taking the time to understand what the customer's already given us, that little bit of information, maybe they're that Disney gal and they want to have that little bit of a personal connection. And then taking that one step further and continuing the conversation with your BDC or with your sales team, it makes the world of a difference. And a lot of it just comes back to that personalization and then how we can take action on that and move it into the next step once they actually hit the store and want to do business with you. Is this something that you've seen and had experience with?
Yeah. So getting that information from you guys is crucial for us because we need to know where that customer's at. We want to pick up where you left off, not just start over again. And the customer doesn't want to start over again. Their time is so valuable. So the more you could read into it, the more they where they are in that buying process, or say with service, even with service, if the customer's really upset that something's not working or they're not getting in touch with the dealership, we need to know all these things, why they're upset, what's the issue, and we can handle that quicker. But on the sales side, it's beyond important. Picking up where you left off, knowing what they put in there, what kind of information, the hardships they've gone through. You're asking the right questions and informing our team in store to really take off and handle that and close that deal when they get to one of our facilities.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't even think this is something that is specific to automotive. Obviously, it's what we're discussing today. But if you think about how anybody shops as a consumer, you don't want to have that repeat experience. Like, I've already given you this information. I've already gone down this path. I'm kind of getting frustrated at this point. And, you know, it makes a whirlwind of difference if we can just kind of help streamline that process and just make them feel like we have all eyes on them and we have the best interest for that customer.
Yeah, you're just giving that consumer peace of mind too. Like, you're paying attention to what they're saying and you care what they say. And so, like, even when they put the vehicle in, and sometimes you used to have it, what vehicle do you want? And they already put in which one they're looking for. So it goes a long way with the consumer for sure.
100%. And you guys are really progressive in how you consider that too, because there is a lot of that still happens. And we want to make sure that just having conversations about this, because it does make that big difference. You know, if you don't read the transcript, you might not necessarily know that the customer is looking for a specific vehicle. We have it broken out there. But even if they're filling out a form fill on the website, they're probably telling us a lot about themselves. And we need to be able to take that and continue the experience through their entire buying journey, which kind of brings us into our third point, which is an omni-channel connection. And ultimately, what we're looking for here is how do we take the customer's shopping journey throughout all of these different touch points and make sure that it's extremely seamless. If we think about how the dealership looks at all of these different channels, they all have their unique benefits. It's not necessarily one size fits all, and they all act kind of differently. If we think about how a customer is texting in, or how a customer is coming in from your website, or what a customer is doing on digital retailing, these are all very different from the dealership perspective. But if you put yourself in the shoes of a customer, they're actually all kind of a seamless integration. And so it's really important that we consider connecting all of these different platforms in a manner that allows for the customer to feel like they're all working together seamlessly. So we want to make sure that if the customer's texting, they have the same type of responses. If they're coming in on the website, they have the same type of responses. If they're engaging in the digital retailing tool, they have the same type of flow and experience. Same thing goes with third-party sites like, you know, social media or any other platforms that might come into play. So we want to make sure that as the customer navigates their shopping journey, they really feel like they're talking to the same people throughout the entire process.
Omnichannel, the way customers engage with us are just, first off, so important. You can't just have one way of communication anymore. There's different people that feel more comfortable, say, coming through social media or texting you or messaging you on your website. There's so many different ways that customers want to really engage with you. And if you don't have those opportunities for them, they'll just go somewhere else or find a different dealership to go to. The way we handle it, yes, you have to look at every single one and be able to engage in every single area and make sure you're answering their questions the correct way. But I think also every little platform has a slightly different thing on how friendly you are with them and all those different things that come into play. So, I mean, omni-channel handling the customer's conversations is a huge part of connecting with them, because you have to make sure they're comfortable where they're engaging with you. It comes down to them and being personalized.
Yeah, 100%. I love how you said that too, because we're putting the customer first. They're the one doing business with us and choosing to do business with us. So we need to be on the platform that makes the most sense. I was testing out some different things the other day, and I chatted in on a different experience, and I was looking to text with somebody, and the response immediately was, "Hey, can I call you?" And like, that wasn't really what I was quite ready for yet. I just wanted to text with somebody or chat with somebody. I didn't necessarily want to pick up the phone. We're all busy, and we need to consider what makes the most sense for the customer. And likely they could be at work and they're trying to multitask and get some information about a vehicle. And if we can make sure that as they're deciding which channels make the most sense for them, we're respecting that, and we're not trying to force them into one that doesn't necessarily make the most sense.
Exactly. Even like just chatting on social media, if you're asking about a vehicle, like why send them a lead form or ask them to
Yeah.
call you right away? Like that doesn't make sense to me. They just want some information on the vehicle. They'll reach out, they'll engage with you, send them a link to the website kind of a thing and say, we're available to chat here if you'd like. And just hitting them where they're feeling comfortable and where they're engaging with you is so important. They're there for a reason. There's no reason to take them off and force them to call you or email you.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jay, could you imagine if somebody walked into one of your stores and you said, "Hold on, I don't want to talk to you yet. You have to fill out this form first and give me all of your contact information, and then come back in 24 hours, I'll call you and we'll set up an appointment." That would just be ridiculous. And we need to make sure we're replicating that experience on all the different platforms.
Absolutely.
So that leads us into our next topic, which is our fourth. And this is proactive engagement tactics. I feel like this is going to be something that you get a little bit more excited about here, Jay. So with proactive engagement tactics, we're thinking about really how are we personalizing what we're offering the customers and how we're engaging with them. We want to get proactive instead of reactive. And so a lot of that comes from behavioral insights and targeting based on how that consumer is shopping. So some of this can be like at ActivEngage, we have Active Target. And based on behavioral insights, we can actually boost up a really quick pop-up that says any type of incentive information. So the customer can say, okay, this is actually personalized to me. I'm interested in this. And now I'm interested in taking this one step further. So these personalized incentives make the whirlwind of a difference. But I would actually argue that we need to consider taking this a whole step further, which is through marketing. And a lot of these efforts can be utilized in marketing as well, because we have tons of insights into how the customer's shopping. And if we take that and consider all of those different elements, we can offer incentives or information personalized to the customer, all relevant to what they're looking for proactively. Is this something that you have implemented with your stores at all?
So yeah, I mean, we do give private offers to someone that's really dedicated to them. Also, like it changes throughout the month and all that stuff, but it's something we do focus on. Are we the best at it? No, but with you guys, how we can critique and come up with a plan, which we send monthly, and we say, hey, we have to be more aggressive here. Let's give more private offers this way. So there's something you work out, and you guys do a phenomenal job helping us get these private offers to our clients as well. So you make it easy on us. We don't have to work as hard as you think. So.
Well, we like to say, let us do the hard work and then give you guys the information so you guys can do what you do best over at the store. And that hopefully helps a little bit. And that leads us into our fifth and final tactic going into 2025, which is just ultimately creating meaningful connections. What I really want to make sure we're focusing on here is how everybody just wants to feel like a VIP. And everybody wants to feel like they're the only person shopping at the store. So how can we make sure that we're guiding them through all of those different elements and giving them that VIP experience? And this is kind of like a summary of a lot of the pieces that we've talked about and putting a nice bow on everything that we've covered off on so far. We think about how the customer has started. They've hit on these different touch points. We've personalized offers and incentives to them. We have talked to them like like they're a real person, because they are. And we've also gone ahead and carried that through with the entire experience with the Hit the Dealership, with the BDC team, with the sales team. And so ultimately, all of those things come together to create a meaningful connection. And that is really critical to how we're talking to our customers. If we think about engagement tactics and ways that we can increase our ability to engage with those customers, whether it be through personalization or ultimately just having a nice connection with the customer based on things that are important to them. And that's how we can do business with as many customers as possible and keep them coming back and having high impact on the business ultimately, and driving more revenue.
These connections, first off, we tell our team, like, you have to be so customer centric and focused. They're the ones that we do business with us. And then also, they're humans. We don't have to be scripted. We could have fun with them. We could engage with them. We could personalize messages. You have to treat them like humans. People don't want that, like I said before, the robotic feeling and scripted stuff. They want to be talked to like a person. They want to be picked up where they left off, and they just want to. They're focused on buying this car, which is their second biggest purchase, and it's a lot. So treat them like humans. Be so customer focused. Give them the best customer experience they possibly can have, and I think it'll be fun.
Absolutely. And by doing all these things, we're ultimately resulting in, those customers that are coming back, those repeat customers, increased lead volume, but also quality of leads, and then ultimately increased revenue. And so if we can do all of these things together, we create a better experience for the customer and ultimately drive all those different factors. So Jay, thank you so much for joining me. And thank you to Automotive News for having us. We really appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to us about some ways that dealerships can improve these engagement tactics going into 2025. It was so lovely to have you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Kayley.
Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, hit that subscribe button, and follow us at Healey Brothers on all social platforms.